In India, every 24 hours, 28 students committed suicide in 2018, contributing to 8%, a whooping 10,400 cases from that year's total, which was 1.3 lakhs. A quarter of these cases, about 2,500 students committed suicide due to failure in exams. 81% of Indians between the ages 8 to 16 years have been bullied at least once in their life. From this 81%, 22% have also been cyberbullied. 65% of students have witnessed cruel cyberbullying occurring online, but have not spoken up in fear of getting bullied themselves. 82.8% of students in schools have gotten bullied, which is a percentage way worse than those who have gotten bullied in other spaces, such as their workspaces. These statistics are only pertaining to cases in India, excluding the thousands of other suicides or attempted suicides committed by students worldwide. Sorry, that might have been quite a harsh beginning for some of you present here. I am Muskan Shah, a mere 12th grader who's here to address a very important topic today. I'm sure you all must be wondering why I started with such statistics. I'll tell you why. We all know how important the marks that we get in the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th grades are. College applications, resumes, and societal pressures have made these grades excessively important. So when a child goes to the 10th or 12th grade, they are automatically pushed to do the best and be the best in their class. They feel the need to excel so badly that they unconsciously start to relate their grades to their self-worth, feeling saddened and anxious when they get grades that are deemed less than acceptable. They feel even more pressured when it comes to big exams such as prelims or board exams. Let's be honest here for a second. How many of us have felt the same way when we were in school? Or how many of us feel the same way now that we're in school or college? Raise your hands. I know I have. From around 14 to 17 years, most teens are already facing their own issues when it comes to friendships, relationships, and changes in themselves and their environment. Various studies have shown that the percentage of those who get bullied vary from 9% to 98% in schools all over the world. Bullying has increased by 5% over the past few years. Those subjected to bullying are also more likely to develop insecurities, adding to their worry, or other mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety. How much ever our society tries to refute it, we all know that these mental health conditions are as, if not more, serious than physical health conditions. Changing an entire educational system that has been pre-existing since decades is a very long and very time-consuming process. So what can we do about the building stress and pressure? The answer, according to me, is simple. Introduce music and art therapy in schools. Therapy may still be a slightly taboo concept in our society, but in reality, by definition, therapy is the attempted remediation of a health problem, usually following a diagnosis. So when I say art therapy, what exactly do I mean by it? Art therapy is where the therapist provides materials and guides the children by helping them decide which would be the best way for them to express what they are feeling. In a standard group art therapy session, which lasts for about 60 to 90 minutes, the therapist first checks up on the children, then he or she provides the materials needed for the session, and finally they disclose a creative therapeutic theme pertaining to only that section. The session ends with allocating time for the student to share their stories and or narrate incidents related to their piece of work with the group, and then a group discussion follows. Sharing a piece of art that is personal is very difficult, especially for those with low self-esteem and low self-confidence. However, when they share and find out that others have also had similar experiences, it boosts their confidence and validates their feelings. Not only this, but knowing that someone else has been in the same place that you are but has now recovered makes the child more hopeful, allowing them to learn more about the recovery process, easing their anxiety. It also helps the participants understand their feelings more and gives them more clarity on their thoughts. When members start sharing and building a connection with each other, they feel a sense of belonging and purpose, which is very important. The group provides a safe environment where group members can be called upon to create one work of art, helping them build new strength building and problem solving skills which will help them in the future. Seeing someone be social, participative, and caring can also rub off on other team members, creating socializing techniques. For the longest time, music has been very comforting to me. So much that I started to listen to it while doing certain tasks, like making notes or doing math sums. Contrary to what you might be thinking, I actually finished my work a lot quicker. I could sit for a longer period of time and practice more math sums in one sitting itself. Music therapy is the use of carefully chosen music in therapy sessions where the therapy assesses the patient and then provides the correct methods of treatment. The method of treatment includes singing, dancing, moving to music, creating music, or even simply listening to music. Group music therapy sessions are designed to bring together all individuals with all different levels of ability and disability to make music and develop and practice valuable life skills in a structured social setting. Sessions are tailored to the needs of the members. Music therapy can help in terms of overall physical rehabilitation, facilitating movement, improving people's motivation to actually go to therapy, and providing emotional support for not only the client but also their family, and also providing an outlet for an expression of feelings. Among many other benefits of music therapy is improving mood, reducing stress, reducing anxiety, enhances aerobic exercise, boosts mental and physical stimulation, improves memory, and also reduces pain by providing comfort. Both of these types of therapy do not include actually verbally talking, which is a big added benefit for those who have problems in verbalizing their feelings. Most schools in India already have counselors. Even if they do not, they can easily contact specialists and ask them to come in at least once a week to conduct these sessions. Introducing these sessions even twice a week or once a week to begin with will have a great impact in not only the students' mental health but also in the institution's reputation. Alongside the advantages mentioned, music helps improve memory and cognition, allowing students to perform better in their exams. Art also helps in reducing anxiety, which really hinders some students' performances when it comes to big exams. I know for a fact that if my school had ever offered us such opportunities, I would have grabbed it in an instant, and it would have really helped with my mental health and my academic performance. So what can you do about it? Well, for starters, you can conduct meetings with the authoritative figures in your school and request them to start these programs in your school during the school hours. You can also talk to other parents of students who go to your school or different schools and convince them to start signing petitions. A small step at this time, which could potentially help so many students in terms of their mental health and academic performances, will have a huge impact in the future. Thank you.